Welcome reading 2. If you chose this reading, you chose, I don't know either, so da 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 da. Ooh, Litha. Intensification, Litha. Okay. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to research Litha. Look at the energy coming out. Okay, I got to show you guys this card. I mean, it's just really intense. Look at that. My throat chakra is getting clogged up instantly, which means it's time for you guys to speak your truth. Also, something is really spicing up for you guys over this Scorpio season. I feel like you guys are getting, this feels like major downloads. I'm not even going to, literally, because I'm like, do I remember what Litha is? And I was like, and they're like, it's like they're blocking my brain. They won't even let me talk about it because I'm like, I feel like you're confusing me. And then I realized, I'm like, no, because this is for you. Look at this intensification. You may be a Scorpio, or this is like your time to shine, or you can have a heavy placement. Your sun, moon, rising could be Scorpio. And if it is, like, I know, like, we have fellow Scorpios in this tribe. So that could be it. My moon's in Scorpio. But yeah, something's about to bust open for you guys. I'm also hearing like this, like they're really proud of you. Some of you have really been working with like clearing your energy field and your chakras. And I almost feel like, I'm going to kind of zoom in a little. I almost feel like this is a celebration of some kind, that spirit is like this is you, and like in this, either now or by the end of the Scorpio season. We spoke about this in reading 1, so if you're drawn to reading 1, you might want to go watch it. But we were talking about how Scorpio is actually Scorpio energy is associated with the scorpion, the eagle, and the phoenix rising. So I think that this is really powerful, that in this imagery, it's like, is it rising or is it coming down? Oh no, that's rising. Like, and that's why everything's about to intensify, because you guys are rising out of the ashes. You have done the work. You have busted your ass. I mean, is there any other like things you want to say, Spirit? Just a really great job. I'm getting like the 9 is here, and those of you who don't know the 9, research it. You know, the galactic energies are here. I called in the healing energies of the universe. So if you want to accept that healing, you just say, yes, I accept the healing energies of the universe with grace and gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But I feel like you guys are coming out of the shadow, like the cards at nighttime, but like, look at that light coming in. It's no joke. So the end of Scorpio season will be, you know, about the third, end of the third week, around the third week of, I think it's the 23rd. Where's my calendar? They didn't have me grab my calendar today. Maybe they don't want me to look at it. I feel like for you guys, I want to though, because right now in real time, the solar eclipse has already happened too. So that's really amazing. And we're still in that energy. And you may want to go back and look and see what was going on during the solar eclipse, the last solar eclipse that happened earlier in this year. You may want to go back and look at that time and that energy and see what's going on. Because I feel like maybe that's when you guys were planting the seeds in the spring. And now in the fall, like everything's going to come together. And for some of you, oh my gosh, I know some of you are doing this. So, oh, I'm so excited for you. And if it's not for you, it's okay. But I am feeling that the book deal is going to happen. It's coming through. Spirit sees what you're doing. They see all the hard work that you're doing, all the energy, the time, the abundance of everything. Just they see everything. They see all. They're like, I see all. Right? It's reminding me of the song from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Right? So spirit, they've been watching you. They've been around you. I'm feeling like a very strong George Bailey moment. Like, I feel like you're that person that's like, you know, no matter how many times you get knocked down, you still get back up and you do it with a smile on your face. And I applaud you as well, because mine, I can get back up, but I don't always do it with a smile on my face. If we're still talking about It's a Wonderful Life, I could tend to be more like Mr. Potter and be like, you know, I don't want to deal with this again. But when we're at the very end of something is when we want to just fucking explode, right? And I feel like that's what's going to happen for you guys by the end of this Scorpio moon. Oh my gosh. And as we go into the new moon in Sagittarius, I feel like you guys are just, everything's going to change for you. Everything is going to shift. Let's see. So So Sagittarius season begins on November 21st. And you know what's so cool about this is it's the same. It's like we just went into Scorpio season 2 days ago, and now it's the new moon in Scorpio in real time when I'm doing these. And next month it's the same. It's the 21st is Sagittarius season, and then on the 23rd it's the new moon in Sagittarius. So that's really cool. So I'm feeling like as you go into Sagittarius season, and for those of you who celebrate like, you know, Thanksgiving and, you know, America and Gratitude Day, as I like to call it. I don't eat turkey and all that, and it's not about, I'm grateful. It's just a day of gratitude, and I'm in gratitude for everything. That's just me personally. But then we're going into a lot of other fun holidays, and you know, Yule, as I celebrate. I was almost at my birthday because my birthday's in December, but like my birthday's a fucking holiday. Not for everybody, but for me. You know, and Christmas and that kind of, you know, that whole, like, I feel like you guys are just going to really celebrate. It's going to be a time of celebration like you've never seen it before. So work with the Litha energy during this moon, okay? And that's, again, for you to research. All right, do we have any more cards that want to speak with reading too? Any more? Do you want to expound any more? There's a lot of people here today. I can feel it. Okay, so, ooh, so we have spell. Let me back up a little bit. Spell, okay. Now, I am going to have to put my glasses on for this one because, but if you want to take a screenshot for yourself and work with this, I'm trying to hold it and open my glasses at the same time. I love how they brought in not just the spider, but the purple. It goes so well with this. The candle. Okay, so eye of newt, and I think it's toe of frog, wool of bat, and tongue of sog. Acer's jork and blind worm's something, lizard's leg, and how, I don't know. If you guys want this, if you're interested in it, I can get it from the book. So email me at themagicalmedium@gmail.com. It's in the description box below. Always make sure to keep the K in there for magical. And I will send you the book, and there will be a spell in there. But look at this. The fact that you're watching this today, or whenever you're watching it, but the fact that we're doing this today on the new moon and you get the manifestation card, holy crapoly. I mean, if that isn't the most magical thing, I just don't know what is. It's just so beautiful and wonderful. So intensification. And also they're saying, don't forget, like out of the zodiac, a lot of people have said this. I've read this because I have my moon in Scorpio, but Scorpio is considered to be the most intense sign of the zodiac. Because Scorpio is pretty much just like, say it like it is. They may keep it to themselves, you know, if they don't want to be mean or whatever. But if you ask a Scorpio, be mindful, because they're going to fucking tell you the truth. They're not going to candy coat it for you. They're going to tell you the truth. So I'm kind of getting that from spirit, that it's, you know, if you're not ready for that, then maybe you don't want to set this manifestation into play. But they're like, in this intensive, this is the time to set your intentions. Even if you watch this, like I'm going to post this hopefully as soon as possible. But it doesn't matter when you watch it. You're still calling upon the new moon in Scorpio, the Scorpio moon energy. You're calling upon the solar eclipse energy, partial solar eclipse. It's really about the energy of it, right? So you're calling that in. So they're saying be mindful, because whatever you wish for is going to come true. And it's going to show up in the form that it's meant to. So let's just say, for instance, you've been in a relationship for a long time and nothing is changing and it's stagnant. And you're like, okay, I'm going to put in this manifestation that X, Y, and Z happens with this person and blah, 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 blah. Most likely, you're going to get a result that isn't the result you want it to be, because you're going not only against someone else's free will, but if something isn't working and you keep asking for the same thing, there's a reason why it's not happening. That doesn't mean you can't ask for the same thing every single new moon and say, okay, in your time, spirit, in your time, spirit. But if that's the case, then ask them, you know, to give you signs and clues. Am I on the right track with this manifestation? Do I need to let this relationship go? Do I need to walk away from this job? You know, maybe you're waiting around for a job because your boss is like, oh, you're next in line. Like when they leave, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, they're never going to leave. They're like, dude, they're like 72. They're going to retire. Don't worry. They're going to retire this year. I feel it. And you're waiting around and you're waiting around. And you know what? What if that person stays till they're 75 and you're waiting around for 3 years for them to retire to get to that position? You need to either change jobs or start your own company. You know, this is what they're talking about. And no manifestation is too small. Look at that. The fact that we've got the pen and ink, you guys are writers. There's writers here. Don't be afraid to write that book. You know, whether it's poetry or it's, or it's a zine or whatever it is. Write. If you have to write, then write. Find a job writing. If you hate your job, find a job writing. There are literally writing jobs everywhere. People are always looking for good writers. Magazines, there's freelance writers for a lot of different things. Look up, see what, look around. Look around. There's also grants where you can send in your writings. There are so many grants that are given out a year. It's unbelievable. When I researched it years ago, I was like, oh my God. And they're always going on. Like you can see something that's like spring 2023, but if you write it or you have it written and you submit it now, it's like, it may not happen until spring, but you know what I mean? It's like, but you need to submit it. If you don't do it, no one else is going to do it for you. When I looked down, it was 1116. That's your angel number. It's also the number 9. And 9's been coming up a lot in our 10-day Samhain spiritual reset. If you're interested, check it out in the playlist. It's just, I needed it for myself and I could feel that the tribe needed it as well. And it's just a really awesome connection. It's like a reconnect with spirit. It's like a daily ritual with spirit. It's like, it's almost like going to church, but magical church. So your manifestation is not too big. It's just that sometimes when we dream really, really big, it takes time for it to happen. I had that conversation with my partner recently. I was like, wow, it took us 7 years to get to where we are, but we finally made it and we're still not there yet. And there's still all these things that need to be done. And I'm frustrated and I'm mad. I'm like, I'm fucking cold. I'm like, this is happening and that's happening. And why is this happening? And I've just been getting angry. And you know what? It's taking longer. You know why? Because I'm not in gratitude anymore. And I realized each day I've been really working with spirit again and took myself away from everybody else's stuff. I realized I'm like, okay, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And it's because of my strength and my fortitude that I got this far and I'm not giving up now. So don't give up when you're right there. You're right there, you guys, you're right there. And I'm hearing magazine again too. Like if you've really been thinking about starting your own magazine, do it because it's going to be successful. I don't know who that's for, but look at this. Oh my gosh, look at this. Look at this finger pointing at you. It's like spirit's like, yes, you can do it. You're powerful. But so it's a hex and banishment. So, there could be people in your orbit who are not your friends, that they say they're your friends. They act like, and just because they're in a spiritual group with you does not necessarily mean they're spiritual. You guys know I call it the yoga pants. It's like just because you fucking wear yoga pants around all day, it's like, unless you're actually doing yoga, they're just pants. They're just stretchy pants. And it's like people can run around all day and be like, oh my gosh, I'm super spiritual and I wear the clothes and I meditated for 2 minutes over my latte. And it's like, I know that makes me sound like a total fucking dick and I'm sorry, but I just have to get brutal with you guys about that. It's like we can talk the talk, but we have to walk the walk. And so if you are surrounding yourself with people who they actually, and for some of them, I'm like, they don't want you in their circle. Do you see the pentacle, the pentagram? Like they don't want you in their circle. If they did, they would, you know what I mean? Like they would treat you better. And some of you, maybe you have been banished from your family because you've come out. And you're afraid to write about it, or you're afraid if you write because you're like, man, I have a really great story, but it's really based on my friend or my mom, or you know what I mean? It's like, write it anyway. Who fucking cares? I actually finally went back because I'm almost done with my first book. And I literally I have rewritten my preface, my prelogue or whatever they call it. I've rewritten it so many times, but what I realized is because I just didn't want to hurt anybody. And I was like, you know what? Some of these characters, are real. Some of these characters are a bunch of people put into one person. If you identify with that character and that feels good to you, that's awesome. If you don't identify with that character and whatever, like, hey, we all play the villain in someone's story. So you need to ask yourself, like, what are you willing to put out there? And spell is that's why it's called spelling, because everything you write down, you're putting it into being. And for some of you, your story, I saw something recently with Kiki Palmer, and she was talking about, like, whatever you're doing is like what we're missing. If you're like, oh, but nobody does this, it's like, yeah, but that's why we need it, right? Like, throat chakra, you got to speak your truth, because it's like you can only reinvent the wheel so many times. We all see this with certain movies, books, whatever. The same premise. You've got your protagonist, what is the protagonist or whatever. It's like you have your heroes, your villains, oh, look at the fairies. Thank you, fairies, for blessing us. We have all of this, and that's wonderful. But at the same time, it's like if you have a really good story to tell, it's most likely because you lived it. So people are going to be interested in it because most likely they've lived a story similar to yours. And you're here to tell that story. So don't be afraid to do that. Even if over this Scorpio season, you just journal your dreams. And then and after you're done, just, what I did one time? I just wrote down my dreams every morning. I kept a dream journal next to my bed, and I wrote down every single morning until I feel like I needed to anymore. Some time ago, I found it and I started going through it. And at first it felt like gibberish each day. But then as I put it together, I'm like, holy shit, that's like a story. So you know what I mean? It's like you never, ever, 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 ever know. And you don't know who's going to see it. And you don't, and Kiki Palmer said that. She's like, put it out in this fucking social media. She's like, the way the world is set up now, she's like, you don't need these big producers. You don't need these whatever. You can put your own information out. You can release one chapter of your book and then say, if you're interested in it, you can buy a copy from me. You can go and get them made at fucking, at Kinko's or whatever. I don't know if they still have Kinko's, but or print them out yourself. But it's, it's cheaper if you go do it, a lot. But it's like if you print them out and you sell them on your own, it's like those like shorts that people are doing where they start telling you a story and they're like, if you want more, come to my channel, right? It's a bait. It's like bait and switch. But what if you're doing it in a way that like you're putting out part of your book? Maybe it's the middle, maybe it's the end. You know what I mean? Maybe it's the beginning. But something that people are like, dude, that's fucking cool. I want to, what else is happening? Oh, I like that character already, right? Do it. Do it. 1736. You've got this. You've got this. You've got this. And I'm feeling the number 8, which is also the spider, is 8 legs, and 8's all about infinity. This is your destiny. This is what you're meant to do. You're meant to be the phoenix rising out of the ashes. And if it's not writing, it's something else. It's a blog, it's a video, it's a channel, it's something. Something where you're bringing information to the masses that even if it's been told 100 times, it's still a new story through your eyes, your characters, your experience. Are you going to invent the first villain or whatever protagonist? No, but it's going to be yours. All right, you guys, I think that's it. Let me see. Are there any more messages? There might be. Oh, there are. Okay, Spirit, do we have any more messages for reading 2? Any more messages for reading 2? I felt like we had one coming out, but I felt like we're done. Are we done with reading 2? Are we done with reading 2? Okay, I knew it. I was like, I'm feeling it. Oh, dedication. Okay, so this came up in reading 1. So again, if you were drawn to reading 1, you may want to go watch this. But also, having an altar and really being dedicated to it is also what's going to help bring you what you're meant to do, right? Don't be ashamed of who you are. You should be able to have an altar, multiple altars, one, whatever, in your home. And if you don't know what an altar is, research it. And this is just how this person set up their altar. It looks like they've got a divine masculine, divine feminine. They're balanced there. It looks like they've got, like all the elements of earth, air, fire, water, right? Like they're bringing all the elements together. That's what I like to do, but it's different for everybody. In this Scorpio energy, in this moon, this is your time, but you've got to be dedicated to it. And you cannot allow being banished or the thought of being banished scare you? Because I feel like you're like, this is like, maybe there's somebody in your friends or your work or somebody. Oh, and this kind of feels like ET, like phone home. I also feel like this is like spirit pointing to you, like, you know, banish yourself. Like, you know, there's people hexing you. That card is no fucking joke. When that card comes out, I don't get scared or anything like that. It always has a different representation. Like even here, I just feel like this looks like a face right here. It looks like ghosts behind you. And I feel like this is like spirit telling you, like, they've got your back. They're protecting you. They absolutely are protecting you. And they're the ones that are trying to keep the darkness away from you. But they're just saying, listen, you could do that yourself. You know, don't keep bringing things into your orbit that don't belong there. You know, I don't care if that person is the best sex you've ever had. If they've got a darkness in them or something that like every time you see them, it takes you like a day or a week or a month to reset, that's not a good relationship. Friend, family, it doesn't matter, especially sex though. If somebody is entering your person or you are entering someone else's body, you know what I mean? Like we are like bringing our bodies physically together like that. That is an act of love, desire, and all those things are beautiful, but not if it's coming from a dark place. I mean, that just came out of nowhere. So I don't know if that's just for one person, but you know, keep that in mind too. Or like somebody who's like maybe using and, you know, they want to have sex with you when they're on whatever, insert their, you know, substance there. And you don't like that. And you're just like, oh my gosh, I hate it. And it almost feels like you're being raped. Like that's what I'm feeling like. And no one should have to live like that. Like you guys, I love you, love you, love you. Please take care of yourself. As above, so below, and first do no harm. And don't let anyone do harm to you. This is what helps you. That's why these altars that I build all the time, I'm constantly changing my altar every day, all the time, in homage to spirit. So, and look at this, and look at the gold here. That's how you bring it all into you, by having gratitude for spirit and showing them and saying, thank you, you know, like bringing things in and, you know, and acknowledging their presence. That's a big deal. Okay, you guys, let's see. Do we have any more? Okay, nope, that's it. All right, you guys, we love you so much. Until next time, take really good care of yourselves and each other. And make sure to check out the 10-day Samhain spiritual reset if you're drawn to it. And all my information is in the description box below. And I'll see you next time. Blessed be. Oh.